My brother-in-law handed me a hammer and told me to put it through the wall. I looked at him in disbelief. Anger had taken up residence in my veins, and he knew it. I was 16 years old, living in Ogden, Utah, in the basement of a home of a really nice family. It was the family that I had married into. Yes, you heard me right. 16 and married. We moved to Ogden for one reason, and that's because my husband said if we moved there, he promised he would leave his friends. Sold. Like you had me at hello, sold. My husband and daughter and I moved to Ogden far away from the family that supported me, my own family. Solely because of that promise. The day after we moved, his friends moved into his dad's house, less than 10 miles away. About a month after moving, it was our anniversary. My husband surprised me with 24 beautiful red roses, and he took me to the nicest dinner that I had been to up to that point. When the night came to an end, he told me that he wanted to separate, out of nowhere. His plan was to move to his dad's. When my brother-in-law heard his plan, he was furious. And he let him have it. And I heard every word from the basement. Immediately after my husband left, my brother-in-law called me upstairs, assuring me that he only said those things to put my husband in check, but that we were welcome to stay there as long as we wanted. It was then that he handed me a hammer and told me to put it through the wall. He assured me that he had plans to open up that space anyway. I am sure that the circumstances accelerated his plan. I never knew how grateful I would be until later in my life, looking back and reflecting. That I let my anger and that hammer fly. I hit that wall over and over again until anger turned to crying, and crying turned to dry tears. I decided to stay and live at my in-laws until the end of the quarter at school so that I could get the credits that I had been working on before going home. When my husband left, he took the car. My mode of transportation was a city bus. I kept to myself on the bus. A lot of the people on the bus, to say the least, were not very warm and inviting. As fall set in, walking to the bus, sometimes in the snow, carrying my baby, my diaper bag, and my books, was part of normal life for me. When fall break arrived, I hitched a ride with another sister-in-law 4 hours south to my parents' house. It was hunting weekend, and that meant homemade chicken noodle soup with homemade noodles and homemade donut holes at Grandma's house. We spent time drinking in each other's company, and everyone was so excited to see my daughter, Taylor, as children seem to change so much in that first year of life. We made a lot of cherished memories throughout those 4 days. That weekend, I was especially excited for my sister Shelly because she had just bought her first brand new, beautiful car, complete with that new car smell and those fancy seatbelts. You know, the ones that traveled up above the windows into position when the car started. I was so happy for her. Her previous mode of transportation was my grandpa's old Dodge truck. It was brown with a wide white stripe down the side, and it was a bit of a chore to drive. I was thrilled for her. When the time came for us to leave, and our ride was about to be arriving, all of our bags were packed, and we hugged and kissed, and we hugged and kissed again. It was then that my dad and my sister told me that my arranged ride would not be arriving. They said they had arranged it to look like it would so that they could surprise me. It was then that my sister, Shelly, told me that I would be driving her brand new car back to Ogden until the quarter was over and they would come back and pick me up and bring me home. That day, I drove away in tears, and I was overwhelmed with gratitude. As families, we have the power to show up for each other in ways that will never be forgotten. We create what that looks like. And trust me, doing what it takes to form those deep bonds is worth it. Every ounce of energy you put into your family is worth it. I hope you loved that video. If you want to hear more about this story, you can check out these videos. I'll see you soon.